the point is, if you really want to learn something, should you go to a school and learn about it, or should you actually get into it? And that's what trade schools have been about for years, right? Business is no different. And you see all these people starting these businesses, these solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and they're making, 5 figures, 6 figures, sometimes 7 figures, and they didn't go to college.
Yeah.
And so you didn't have all that debt and things like that. So the economy is changing. I mean, schools, in my opinion, have become a business in and of itself.
Absolutely.
And that's really where it's disturbing, because kids are going in thinking that's going to guarantee them a high paying job. And you see it time and time again where kids are coming out racked with debt and they can't afford life because they're focused on, I went to college, I should have a job. And you do make more when you have a degree. Studies show that you're going to make, anywhere from 20% to 25% more. And that's a rough guess, so don't hold me to that. But with a college degree as opposed to if you just had high school. But if you've got something, a skill set that you're good at, you developed on your own, or you went to YouTube University or whatever the case may be, that's really something that if you're paying the bills and you see an upward trend in, the income level, do it, right? So anyway, so the next thing kind of leads right into that, right? You look at, okay, I'm racked with debt and things like that. And one of the big things that, especially as an older adult, that's really keeping you from leveling up, building your wealth, is doing for your kids rather than teaching your kids how to do it for themselves. Okay. And what I mean by that is, you see a lot of kids go off to college, they're racked with debt, parents are paying for all their college. And that's a total decision that you make on your own, what you want to do. I've talked to some families that, nope, they want to go to college, they're going to pay for themselves. I've talked to some that they pay for everything, give them an allowance, everything else. Me personally, I do a little bit of a hybrid with my kids. They bring scholarships or whatever the case, cover at least half, and then I cover the difference. So they've got some skin in the game, so to speak. And we've raised them like that all their lives with, wanting to buy extra stuff and toys and whatever. And so, again, it teaches them that responsibility. But you see a lot of parents that, hey, okay, I'm going to support you and really no consequences. And then they end up going to school, get a degree, can't find a job, end up moving back with mom and dad, which I get that, again, that's fine. You don't want your kids to be homeless or whatever, but there needs to be an exit plan, right? There can't be, hey, you can stay here indefinitely, not pay bills or whatever. And, I'm surprised when I see, I don't know if you've ever come across that, Wendy, with regards to, any friends or anything like that, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, my whole family still, no, I'm just kidding. I have a lot of family that's my age and my cousins that still live with their parents. No offense, guys, love you. But I was 18. I'm out, man. I paid for my own college. I bought my own house by the time I was 21. Like I did the thing. And, it's crazy to me. And I think, it's put this generation that are, we're kids of parents that are aging, and then we also have kids that are becoming adults, and it's this crunch. It's like we can't get ahead because then our generation is taking care of 2 generations, right? The generation before and the generation after us. And so, I mean, for me, my oldest kids are 21 and 20. They're both on their own, paying their own bills. Now one of them lived with me, a little longer than 18. But then out on their own. And that's one thing I was always clear about. Like, you're an adult, you got to figure it out. You got to figure out how to take care of it.
Time to adult. I mean, you're there to kind of catch them, make sure, like you said, you never want your kids homeless, right? But to just set the expectation of, hey, you can stay here and live here as long as you want. Because what happens is, especially if you're not charging anything, that's eating into your expenses, right? That's eating into your income level. And that's keeping you, again, from stacking additional cash and stuff like that, and raising not only your wealth level, but your lifestyle level, and keeping you from those things that, hey, man, it would be so good. Man, I'd really like to downsize into a smaller house, but I can't because I've got, Tommy and his kids down in the basement. And that's one of the things, again, it's temporary as a safety net is great. It's nice to be able to depend on family. But again, looking at, hey, are you going to ever leave? I mean, it's one of those things that you have to have that tough conversation. Again, it starts at a very young age. So parents that have younger children, start instilling those values now, not of, hey, I know you're in the first grade, but one day you're moving out. That's not what I'm talking about, but just teaching them to kind of, if you want extra things, you got to earn the money on your own. If you want to, and start small. And as they get older, let them realize that there are consequences. My oldest son, when he went to college, he had scholarships and stuff like that. Well, he ended up losing one of his scholarships. He got a little distracted and lost one of his scholarships. I said, hey, you need to make up for that difference. Yeah. I'm not going to just come in. And he came to me, and I love this because, we had kind of started those small lessons early on. He came to me, told me about what happened, already had a plan to solve for it before we even had the conversation. So I'm like, hey, this is a good, it made me be proud as a parent of him, because it's like, okay, you're going to be all right. Right. And again, so making sure you're teaching your kids how to do for themselves rather than just doing it for them. So hopefully the stuff, kind of to recap, number one, the wages are outpacing, the cost of living is outpacing wages. We all know this. So we got to figure out, okay, do I move to a different career? Do I ask my boss for a raise? Do I add in multiple streams of income, which I'm a big proponent of, right? In case you get laid off or something like that, a lot of layoffs going on. So number one, address that issue. Okay. Number two is the limited networking. Start expanding your network. You're going to be amazed at some of the people you meet that will help you not only expand your network, but level up your money game, and surrounding yourself. Look on a, Meetup, look on, different Eventbrite. There's all kinds of little networking groups and stuff like that. Or even if you want to learn about real estate investing, go join a local real estate club or something like that to start learning about how to level up your not only your income, but your wealth overall.